I took my first viewing of Rock Fujiyama today, and it blew my mind because I was like, this is a great show. Like, I wish they had something like this in the state where you can just get together with guys like Kerry King and play guitar and play riffs, and he's doing sumo moves and stuff like that. Like, it just seemed like such a fun show, and very popular in Japan. Did it ever come to a part where you were getting recognized more for that show than for your music?
Oh, by far.
All the time?
By far.
Yeah.
And that show is actually quite a while ago. Since
Yeah.
then, I've done maybe 700 other shows.
Yeah, that's what I read. That's crazy.
And, you know, my dear fans know me for my music, but there are a whole lot of people who've seen me on this thing and that thing and things that don't have anything to do with music at all. I mean, Rock Fujiyama was a musical program, but in Japan, I do so many things that are non-musically related that, you know, it's very common for people to know me from something else, which is fine. Hopefully it will lead them to my music.
So how did you first get into television? I mean, it's a strange path for any musician to and essentially become like a game show type of host and just be all over Japanese TV, especially when it's not your native country.
Right. Well, I went to Japan because I love Japanese domestic music and I wanted to be in that. So no sooner do I get there, it must have been several months that I got an offer to do a TV show, which did not interest me at first because they said what the show is, it's like it's all about, it's kind of making fun and having fun with American and non-Japanese music, heavy metal and stuff. And I'm like,
Oh, okay.
I've been doing heavy metal for the last 20 years, you know, and I love it. I don't want to really make fun of it. And I came here to do Japanese stuff, and now you're asking me to do this. And they said, look, just try it once and see what you think. And so I did, and it was just a wonderful atmosphere. And for someone who's spent a lot of time learning Japanese, on that level, it was like a supercharge into my Japanese because
Okay.
I was fluent before I moved there, but when you do TV, it's a completely different level of fluency. You got to read cue cards in real time. You got to keep the conversation interesting with people who are like real pros at television, you know? A lot of Japanese TV people and movie people and music people came on there, and you got to keep in there. So this was just really a big stimulating thing, and I love doing it.
You've also written 2 books about Japanese music, about especially what you love about it. And really one of the main pieces of Japanese music that's made it over here is Babymetal, band I've heard you say very nice things about in the past. Can you tell me, does Babymetal sort of represent the type of Japanese culture that you enjoy?
That's a good question. It's a byproduct of one of the things that I really like about Japanese music scene and culture is they will try to create a new flavor, a new taste, something that just doesn't seem like it will make sense. And a perfect example would be Babymetal.
Sure.
It's like furious metal with 3 cute little idol type. They're not idol singers, so to speak, but they're, you know, the type that you might see doing a dance routine or just cute Japanese girls is not what you think of like Municipal Waste, you know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
So this contrast is very common in Japan, not only in music, but in anything from food to all kinds of cultural things. They're very into trying something new. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But sometimes by trying these weird things that normally butt heads, normally you wouldn't think they'd ever work, but sometimes it's absolute magic. And I like to be a part of trying to make that magic, and that's what Babymetal is. In Japan, it's very, very common to have like, say a pop singer have like a section of her show where it's real metal or real EDM or real soul music or whatever, just because that artist has that interest. And it's not just strictly one genre. Maybe the artist feels like, I really love this metal stuff, but it's not my taste as an artist, but I want to do this metal corner in my show.
Wow.
Or something like that. And that kind of genreless society is really cool. But to answer your question, I think people who listen to metal, they must know this band called Maximum the Hormone.
Oh, sure, of course. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Great band.
Okay, they are a great band. And I think in Japan, a lot of metal fans also like idol music. When you say idol music in America, it means a different thing than idol music back in Japan.
Sure.
I really like this idol unit called Maneki Kecha.
Okay.
and they're just starting to really break. They just played at Budokan, and I did a compilation album of kind of new idol acts, and I put them on that, and ever since then they've really done some great things. Maneki Ketch, I really love their music. Amazing arrangements, amazing, just it'll make you feel good.
Awesome.
And of course, Momlito Clover, who I collaborated with a couple times, and they're just out of this world. So I would suggest those three for now.
So in 2017, you became an ambassador of Japan Heritage for the Japanese government. So can you tell me what that gig is all about?
In Japan, there are many obvious things that tourists and people around the world know about Japan. You know, the temples in Kyoto and Mount Fuji and things like that. What I do is I do events in Japan and around the world, kind of just bringing attention to things about Japan to foreign people and to Japanese people. I did something with the Japan Embassy in Buenos Aires a couple months ago.
Wow.
And I did some things up in Kyoto, and I just did a lecture at the Japan Foundation in LA. And basically, I would be doing this stuff anyway.
Yeah.
Because anytime I'm outside of Japan, people come up to me and ask me about Japan. And I'm very happy to talk about it, and I think that's what the government saw me doing, and I'd be doing it anyway. So it's just an honor to be asked to do such a thing.
Sure. And we know the Olympics are going to be in Tokyo in 2020. Is there any chance that you will be a part of the opening, closing ceremony, anything like that?
I am really, really hoping. That would be such a fantastic thing for me. I played the opening ceremony at the Tokyo Marathon for the last 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
And I'm supposed to play there again in March, for the third time in a row. And as a foreigner, it just blows my mind that I get such a wonderful experience. But I've always been a huge Olympic fan, and you know, all things point to having something to do with the Olympics. And if it happens, that's great. If not, then it wasn't to be. But I hope so. Things could happen.
It'd be good. If Creed can play the Olympics, I'm sure Marty Friedman
Creed
can
played
play.
the Olympics?
They played the closing ceremony, I believe, at a Winter Olympics.
That's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So I'm hoping for that. We would love to see that for sure.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.